Hello everyone, welcome to Live Interactive English. I'm Mike.
I'm Rainbow.
And we're looking at more of the top 4 things to do in Dublin. These are the top 3 and 4 things to do.
Yes.
Because we looked at 1 and
1
2
and 2 yesterday.
Yesterday, of course, we began with Trinity College, one of the oldest universities in Europe and the oldest in Ireland. And we visited the beautiful library to check out the Book of Kells, which is a lovely illuminated Bible. And then after that, we headed outdoors, didn't we, Rainbow?
We went to the park and we saw wild deer.
That's right. In Phoenix Park, there's a zoo and also some deer that have been there since the 1700s. Well, not the same deer. There's new deer.
Hundreds of years old.
They're not really ancient deer. They're the grandchildren of ancient deer.
Yes.
But there have been deer living in the park since the 1700s, but the deer have actually changed. So today we're going to be looking at numbers 3 and 4 on our list of top 4. But we also want to mention that if you're going to visit Dublin, well, you're already in the country of Ireland. You would be robbing yourself if you only stayed in the capital of Dublin and you didn't get out to visit the rest of the country. It's a small country, so it's not hard to travel around in. I've never actually taken like buses or trains. Whenever we went there, we would rent a car, which is something you can do. I would warn people though that driving in the countryside in Ireland can be quite an exciting experience, because in a lot of the areas where they might have many farms and fields, they have very narrow roads with walls kind of on the side.
Like in the movies.
Yeah,
Very
walls
dangerous.
of stone or maybe even peat.
Oh,
and often it's not big enough for the cars to pass. So I remember as a kid, my father had to go backwards quite a long ways to find somewhere to move in so that the other car could go past, and then you start driving. So you want to be a little bit of a confident driver when you're getting yourself around Ireland, because some of those beautiful old roads are not really made. I mean, it would be perfect if 2 people on a horse were walking by each other.
Yeah, that's what they were made for.
But cars,
not for cars.
Cars of course are much wider, so it is definitely a place you want to check out. Go to the West Coast, visit Shannon, go down south to Cork. Waterford, of course, is another place you'd want to go. But Dublin is the place we're focusing on. It's the place to start, and it's what we're going to read about now.
Three, take a walk across the Halfpenny Bridge. Another fun thing to do in Dublin is to simply walk around the historic city. A proper walk around Dublin should include the charming Halfpenny Bridge. It was built over the River Liffey in 1816, and its name comes from the cost of walking across it, 1 halfpenny. Take a few pictures and then enjoy a meal at one of the nearby pubs and restaurants.
Alright, so we're going to go all around this beautiful city and we're going to take some more walks. The third place that's recommended is to take a walk across the Halfpenny Bridge. So, another fun thing to do in Dublin is to simply walk around the historic city. I like doing that everywhere I go. A proper walk around Dublin should include the charming Halfpenny Bridge. It was built over the River Liffey in 1816. That's a long time ago, and its name comes from the cost of walking across it, 1 halfpenny. So yeah, back in the day it wasn't even 1 penny, it was a halfpenny, and you had to pay to cross the bridge, but now it's free.
That's right, that's why we call it the Halfpenny Bridge, which is sort of the short term for halfpenny. I guess that would have been a lot of money back in 1816, I imagine.
Think so. Oh, they would need to ride their horses, so they had to pay a fee?
Possibly, or maybe the cheap way would be to pay someone to row you across in a boat.
Okay.
But that would take longer, so if you were rich, you might be able to pay to use this bridge or something like that. Think of it as a bridge tax. But of course, these days you don't have to pay that. So yeah, you definitely want to check that out. We also learned there that the River Liffey is the big river that flows through Dublin. So you'll be walking around on the sides or the banks of the River Liffey quite a lot. All right, next it says, take a few pictures and then enjoy a meal at one of the nearby pubs and restaurants. Of course, in Ireland, a pub is never very far away. There are Irish pubs all over the world. In fact, they say there is no big city in the world that can be really international unless it has an Italian pizza restaurant, a Chinese food restaurant, and an Irish pub.
Wow.
You could go to almost any city in the world and find those three things.
I believe it.
Yeah,
I believe it,
think
for
in,
sure.
In Taipei, I think there is an Irish pub, and of course, we have Italian and Chinese food here. But a pub is a place that people think of when they think of going out to have a few drinks. And these would be the adult drinks like beer and wine and liquor and stuff like that.
Huge glasses.
You often get served a pint, but you can get a half pint too. I remember I was in London not too long ago, and an American woman was like, "Oh, the pint is so big." And I said, "You can get a half pint." And she's like, "Oh, I can?" And I was like, "Yeah." And so she got a small glass.
It is. I've never seen that, I think.
She was very happy about that. But actually, a pub is really more of a meeting place for the community. It is a place to have drinks in the evening, but it's also a place to get food. And even as a young person who can't drink by the law, you can probably still go there with some adults. You can have lunch or dinner. But of course, you'll be drinking soft drinks or something like that. But then in the evening, yes, people will go there for dinner or even after dinner for some drinks, conversation, good times, maybe play some darts, listen to music, possibly dancing too. Yeah, for sure. Let's look at this word pub in our example sentence. This pub serves great food and drinks. I'm there. I'm going. Sounds good. And of course, we'll probably find some of the well-known Irish beer once we get to that pub, and we'll also be learning about this famous beer in the next part of our article. So we'll take a break, and then we'll be back with number 4.
Hello， 大家好，我是 Hanny。我们今天要继续跟着课文来游览都柏林 Dublin。那这个城市里呢，另一个可以做的有趣活动就是单纯在这座城市里散步，在这个古城里散步。你可以沿着利菲河，然后这个利菲河上有很多座桥，那同学们一定要去走知名的半分桥 Halfpenny Bridge。Halfpenny Bridge 这座桥它是建于1816年，那这个名字呢就是源自于过桥的费用 Halfpenny。它就表示半便士、半分钱，英国1971年前所使用的硬币。好，那我们散步拍完照之后呢，你就可以到附近的酒吧、餐馆去享受美食。这边用到单字 pub，pub 它在英国、爱尔兰呢是指酒吧、酒馆。那这种酒馆呢，酒吧通常是有餐点可以享用，你可以去那边跟家人朋友吃个午餐啊，吃个晚餐，喝个啤酒聊聊天，就是很温馨又热闹的社交场所。那接回到课文中。
4. Tour the Guinness Storehouse. For many people, Dublin is connected with Guinness. This dark beer has been brewed in Dublin since 1759, and the story of this unique drink is explained at the Guinness Storehouse. This museum offers multimedia exhibitions about the history and production of Guinness, and it also has a bar with a great view of the city. These are just a few of the things to see and do in Ireland's capital. Search online and see if you can find any other interesting activities to do, or plan a trip and experience the city for yourself.
All right, so after visiting the pub, well, maybe before visiting, maybe instead of visiting the pub.
Another day.
You can go to the pub and have your beer, or you can just skip the pub and do number 4, tour the Guinness Storehouse. That's right. Guinness is, of course, a famous dark Irish beer. It's a kind of stout. That's the kind of beer we call that dark beer, and it's probably the most famous drink around the world that comes out of Ireland. And if you're interested in it or just want to taste it for the first time or for the 10,000th time, you can take a tour of where they actually make and store the beer.
Yes, and to tour, this is a verb in this case, but a tour can also be a noun if it's the actual thing. So to tour a place means to visit it as a tourist. That's an IST. That's the kind of person. If you visit a place and you're not very familiar with it, you would take a tour, which is like a guided walk or a guided journey. Sometimes there's someone called a tour guide who takes you to different places and introduces different parts of the scenery and maybe some of its history. Or if there is no tour guide, there's a specific path or route that you can take to follow to see different sorts of places where you can take pictures, and this happens a lot on your trips. So you can go with a tour guide, a tour company, a tour group, as a tourist on a tour. So there are different types of words that this can be adapted to. I have a sentence for you. In the afternoon, we toured the streets of Tokyo by foot. So in this case, it doesn't sound like there's any guide, but we are tourists, so we're visiting, so we're just walking around and seeing the famous sights of Tokyo.
That's right. Of course, in that sentence and in the article, we use tour as a verb.
That's right.
So you can tour a place, you can tour a museum on a tour, or yeah, you can do it by yourself, but basically you're going around a place, learning about things, probably things you didn't know about,
exactly.
And you're getting a quick view of the important, interesting stuff. So let's tour the Guinness storehouse.
For many people, Dublin is connected with Guinness. This dark beer has been brewed in Dublin since 1759, and the story of this unique drink is explained at the Guinness storehouse. We can definitely see Guinness like in all countries. If you just go to 7-Eleven, you'll see that dark, it's like a black beer and some kind of gold on top, and it just says Guinness, and it's from Dublin in Ireland.
Absolutely. Well, it was originally made there. I think now they make it all over the world, but it has a very unique taste, a little bit bitter. Some people don't like it, but it's definitely worth trying, especially if you're already in Dublin. You do want to try this unique beer in a unique location. When something is unique, it's kind of special. It's kind of unusual. It's different. It's something you haven't seen before. If you're a very modern person, you will immediately pull out your phone, take a picture of it, and post it on Instagram and show everyone what a unique thing you are seeing or doing right now, because it's special, it's unusual, it's interesting, it's something you don't see every day. For example, I don't know anyone else like Rose. She is truly unique. Or another way we would say this is she is truly one of a kind.
Oh,
she's one of a kind.
Special.
Very, very special and unusual, usually in a good way, right? If your friend is not a very good cook and they make strange tasting food, a polite way of saying it's not good is to say,
how unique.
Your soup that tastes like shoes is very unique. But it means special.
Interesting.
But usually in a good way, but maybe not with your friend's shoe-flavored soup. Anyways, back to the article. This museum, there's actually a Guinness storehouse, a museum. Everything you want to know about this beer is included there. Inside, it says this museum offers multimedia exhibitions about the history and production of Guinness, and it also has a bar with a great view of the city. Yeah, they have kind of like a, not quite like Taipei 101, but a very tall building with one of those big rooms at the top with windows all around. You can drink your beer, you can have a beautiful view of Dublin. Almost any tourist TV show that you see that visits Dublin, they do go there, they pour the beer, they drink the beer, all that kind of stuff, because it is really a very popular place for tourists, partly because it's so unique and partly because people are interested in learning about the production of this very famous Irish beer.
And production just means how something is made, the process of how it's made. So the noun is ION, and this comes from the verb produce, or to make something. So in this case, it's the production of the beers, or the process of how it's made, and the environment. Maybe there's some explanation. You get to see it for yourself. You can see the entire thing. I have a sentence for you. Record high temperatures have affected the country's food production. So it affects how the food is made because of different reasons, and of course production is a very complicated process. It sometimes includes people, it can include machines, it includes what the cost would be. It's very, very difficult, and it's a huge process.
Absolutely.
Okay, so I have an ending sentence for this last part. These are just a few of the things to see and do in Ireland's capital. And of course, you can Google for more. Search online and see if you can find any other interesting activities to do. Or plan a trip and experience the city for yourself.
Absolutely, yeah. You can go on a tour or you can tour the city yourself. And of course, it's very easy these days. All you have to do is search online, search the internet, or Google things. When we talk about Googling something, we're basically searching on the internet. When you search for something, you're looking for something that's probably not too easy to find, right? I wouldn't say in the middle of Taipei, you really have to search for a 7-Eleven. Because they're everywhere. But if you're maybe outside the city in the countryside, you might have to search for something. Another way we think of this is if you lose something, right? If you lose a thing in your house and you spend 20 minutes, an hour, maybe even a couple of days looking for it, you're searching for it.
Very messy house.
Because it's very hard to find. Or maybe it's very small and your cat knocked it under the sofa, which my cats sometimes do. Or, you know, of course, we also have something like we might have in our example sentence, Lauren helped me search for my glasses, but we couldn't find them. We might also see this word used in a newspaper headline, in a news headline, when the government or the police might be searching for a criminal or searching for a person who was lost at sea or is lost in the mountains. You're looking for something that is hard to find. All right, let's get to our what do you think question. According to the article?
According to the article, what makes Dublin a great place to visit? Which were your favorite?
I think that Dublin is a great place to visit because it's the center of Ireland. It's a very unique culture. It has a very interesting history. And we should also mention, and I'm surprised the article didn't mention this, the people are lovely. Irish people generally are really welcoming, very warm, love to travel around the world.
They love music.
Love to meet people. They love good times, having a good crack, which is a good times, you know, down at the pub or something. So the people are lovely too, I would say, yeah. All right, guys, thanks for joining us. We'll have more great articles for you in the future, but until then, bye-bye.
下一站是参观健力士酒厂。对许多人来说，都柏林跟健力士紧密相关。那么健力士 Guinness 这款黑啤酒呢，它是从1759年开始在都柏林酿造。Mike 老师这时候提到 Stout。Stout， 它是用来指这种烈性黑啤酒，就是比较烈的那种黑啤酒。那么健力士酒厂里面呢，有着关于这一款独特啤酒的历史，还有生产过程的这个多媒体展。我记得在它7楼的酒吧呢，有那种大片落地窗，你可以眺望这个都柏林城市的美景哦。那其实这2天所介绍的景点并不多，都柏林还有很多好看好玩的事物，同学们不妨自己上网搜寻其他有趣的活动。规划一次旅行，让你亲身去体验这座城市的魅力吧。我们来看单字 tour。tour 当动词，它可以表达到什么地方去参观、旅游。其实它也可以当名词去表达旅行、游览的意思，尤其是短程的游览。再来看到 unique， 它是形容独一无二的、独特的。Mike 老师这时候用到 one of a kind， 这个用语是指独一无二的、与众不同的。在我们刚刚说到生产过程，用到 production 这个字呢，这个名词就表示制作、生产或是指生产量。还有呢 ，search 这个动词表示搜寻，是个动词。好，那这边2个重点，我们进入文法时间。好，我们来看第一个重点是 A is connected to B， 或者是 A is connected with B， 这表示 A 和 B 相关，或者是 A 使人联想起 B。其中的动词 connect， 它表示连接或者是跟什么相关的意思，像是 lack of sleep is closely connected with many health problems。缺乏睡眠跟许多健康问题密切相关。那顺便补充一个意思相近的用法是 A is associated with B。那其中的动词 associate， 或者是有人念作 associate， 它是表达使相关、使联想的意思。像是 Cherry blossoms are often associated with Japan。 樱花常常让人联想到日本。好，下一个重点是 if 它可以引导名词子句来表达是否怎么样怎么样，可以跟 whether 通用。那么相较而言呢 ，whether 它是比较正式的用法，而 whether 引导的名词子句呢，这个子句可以用来当主词、受词或者是补语用。可是 if 去引导的名词子句呢，不能当主词哦，它只能当受词跟补语用。我们来造2个例句。I don't know if that's a good idea， 也可以说成 I don't know whether that's a good idea。我不知道那是不是个好点子诶。这时候我们这个名词子句是摆在 know 的后面当受词，那么 if 跟 whether 都可以用。再看个例句哦。Whether that's a good idea depends on a lot of factors。那是否是个好点子是取决于很多因素。那这时候 whether 引导的名词子句是当主词用，我们就不能用 if 来替换咯。好，那以上是今天的讲解，同学别走开，马上回来哦。
3. Take a walk across the Halfpenny Bridge. Another fun thing to do in Dublin is to simply walk around the historic city. A proper walk around Dublin should include the charming Halfpenny Bridge. It was built over the River Liffey in 1816, and its name comes from the cost of walking across it, 1 halfpenny. Take a few pictures and then enjoy a meal at one of the nearby pubs and restaurants. 4. Tour the Guinness Storehouse. For many people, Dublin is connected with Guinness. This dark beer has been brewed in Dublin since 1759, and the story of this unique drink is explained at the Guinness Storehouse. This museum offers multimedia exhibitions about the history and production of Guinness, and it also has a bar with a great view of the city. These are just a few of the things to see and do in Ireland's capital. Search online and see if you can find any other interesting activities to do, or plan a trip and experience the city for yourself.
Hello, I'm Matt.
I'm Stephen.
Today we're playing Word Drop. We each have 3 cards that we haven't looked at yet, and on these cards are words or phrases that we need to fit into a conversation as smoothly as we can.
Easy peasy.
Easy peasy. So
Yeah.
you can start us off then. Start the conversation.
So I have always been somebody who loves to eat. I just eat and eat and eat. Like I could eat all day. And then one day while I was eating, I was just like, wow. A lot of people have to like work together in order for me to be eating this pizza right now. Like the cheese, the vegetables, the meat all come from different places, and the dough. It's just really interesting to think about all these different processes and steps in food production.
Okay, yeah. So you mentioned I know you like pizza.
Yeah.
Right? So that, you know, like I think the best, of course, to try like original pizza from Italy is something that, you know, any pizza lover should try to do in their life. And I think something I would like to do is just, you know, go to Italy and, you know, eat the food and just spend time touring around eating pizza.
That would be a dream vacation for me, to just go around eating different types of pizza. And like, I know that Italy it's like the first place that pizza originated, obviously, but I heard they don't really like Hawaiian pizza. Like if they see pineapple on pizza, they get really angry, but I think it's a really unique flavor of pizza. I love it.
Yeah, I actually do I like Hawaiian pizza too.
Okay.
And I'm not I think some people get really angry about that, like purists about it, where you can't put it, but it's like, why not?
Like, yeah, why not?
Actually, yeah, so that's my favorite, you know, pizza restaurant in Canada is one that has Hawaiian pizza, which I think was invented in Canada, I think. Maybe.
Oh, really?
Maybe. Anyway, this is a restaurant, and it's right in downtown. They make amazing pizza, and especially the Hawaiian, and it's on this corner, and it's actually right next to a pub, and it's great.
Oh, I know that pub.
Yeah.
That pub is like one that everyone goes to. It's so good, and the service is really good, and the food is always excellent. And I remember that pub is connected to a different building next to it, right? There's like a laundromat, I think.
Yeah. Is that? Oh, that's okay. Yeah, it's convenient when there's, sometimes when I need to do I don't have a laundry machine at home, so I need to go to a laundromat to do my laundry. And once when I was traveling, I also needed to do some laundry, and I couldn't find any place to do it, so I spent all afternoon searching for a laundromat.
That sucks. That's always the worst.
Yeah.
You should go to that pub. It's right next to the laundromat.
Laundromat. Okay.
It's so convenient.
See you next time.